Welcome to Jeffco Stadium on a Saturday afternoon, Arvada West High School football. The Wildcats getting ready to take on the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Arvada West, let's talk about where they're at coming into this game. 2-0, ranked number 1 in state. The defending champions off to a good start here in 98. We'd be remiss if we didn't run down last week's big win over the previously number 1 team in the state, the Mullen Mustangs. Of course, Mullen was ranked nationally by some publications. Arvada West came into the fourth quarter trailing by 12 points, and in the final 2 minutes, they made up the ground, scoring a couple touchdowns late, one in the final minute as Arvada West down Mullen in an emotional win. Final score 32-31. Of course, Arvada West defeated Fort Collins in their first game. A little bit about the Farmers. They are 1-1 on the year, ranked top 10 in Class 4A. They won their opener against Sierra 35-20. However, last week they struggled against Centaurus. They built a 21-7 lead but gave up 19 points in the second half as Centaurus defeated Wheat Ridge 26-21. Both teams' captains were out at midfield. It appears that Wheat Ridge won the toss and elected to receive the kick, so Wheat Ridge get the ball first. That means the Arvada West defense, which has been pretty good. However, they have given up some yards. Mullen was able to rack up a lot of yards against the Wildcat defense. Of course, Mullen, they're going to rack up a lot of yards against a lot of people this year. Let's run down the starters on offense for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. We'll just do the skill positions. At quarterback, Chris Marvel. He is 6'2", 210 pounds. He is a senior. Steve Porter is their fullback. He leads the club in rushing, 32 carries, 141 yards, 5'11", 200-pound senior. Now, Wheat Ridge is going to use a number of sets offensively. They'll run out of a full house. 1 back, 2 back, you name it, they'll do it. Aaron Lucas is a halfback, 6'2", 180. He also is a senior. And Mike Favera, 5'10", 180 pounds. He is a senior, 15 carries, 61 yards on the year. However, he is their touchdown machine, having scored 4 times this season. Wide receivers, David Kress, 5'11", 185-pound senior, 5 catches for 104 yards last week. And Adam Ariano, 5'10", 170-pound junior. He is on the right side. We should mention Chris Marvel last week, an offensive machine, 14 of 30, 227 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now for Arvada West fans, that may not sound like a lot. They're used to seeing the numbers guys like Steve Cutliff has put up over the past few years. That was a school record for the Wheat Ridge Farmers, not only in the first half, but for an entire game. So Chris Marvel coming off a pretty big game at a quarterback. You'd expect Wheat Ridge, based on those numbers, to throw the ball a lot. In his first game, Marvel was 0 for 5, only put it up 5 times. I asked Mitch Lambert, Wheat Ridge's assistant this week, is this a team searching for an identity, or do they just do what it takes to win? And he informed me that this is indeed a team that has an identity. They just are able to run it or pass it. They'll do whatever the defense gives them. Arvada West fired up for this one, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of emotional level they're going to play at today. We mentioned the big emotional win last week over Mullen. Now they're playing a school 1 division lower than them. Is there the potential for a letdown? We will see. Obviously, I'm sure Dave Logan has talked to his team about that all week, about guarding against a letdown and putting the Mullen game out of their minds. Hey, it's fine to enjoy it for a day or two, but come Monday or Tuesday when practices resume again, it's time to put it out of your head, concentrate on the mistakes we've made, and let's become a better football team. Arvada West getting ready to kick off in this ball game. As we said, Wheat Ridge will receive the kick. Back to receive it, number 5, David Kress. We've mentioned him before. He is a wideout for the Farmers, 5'11", 185-pound senior. And number 7, Adam Ariano. He, too, is 5'10", 170 pounds. He is a junior. Doing the duties for Arvada West is going to be their kicker, Eric Helgeson. I watched this kid up at Fort Collins 2 weeks ago. Put a number through the end zone, so there is a good chance here that Wheat Ridge will not get a chance at a return. We're getting ready to kick this one off, the 3rd game of the year for the Arvada West Wildcats. To start the season, they are 2-0. The whistle has blown, and there is the kick. It's a good one, as we said, through the end zone, so Wheat Ridge is going to start at 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They're going to be going from left to right in their white uniforms, yellow helmets, of course, Arvada West in the purple and silver. Again, we mentioned a great day for football. Actually, maybe too hot for some of these players. Temperature in the mid to low 80s. A lot of these guys probably aren't used to playing on afternoons. Most of the games around here are in the evening. So as the game wears on, it might be interesting to see which team becomes more fatigued or not. Wheat Ridge puts 12 in the huddle. 11 come to the line of scrimmage. One guy runs out of bounds. I think that's illegal, but they let him do it anyway. Chris Marvel. No back set, 4 wide receivers to start off the game. We mentioned Wheat Ridge would use a number of sets, and here's a new one. Marvel pressured by Wunderlich. Breaks a couple tackles, but Wunderlich stays with it and sacks him back at the 15-yard line. A loss of 5. 2nd and 15 for Wheat Ridge. Robert Wunderlich, consensusly the best defensive lineman on this team. He blew right through the offensive line, putting pressure on Chris Marvel. A no-back set's going to allow that to happen. When you don't have any running backs in the backfield to protect the passer, that's going to open up some lanes for those defensive linemen for the Wildcats. 2nd and 15, ball at the 15-yard line. This time, Wheat Ridge puts 2 men in the backfield, Steve Porter and Mike Favero. The pitch to Favero, he drops it, recovers it, but loses another 5 yards. So we've got 3rd and 20 immediately, and things breaking down here in a hurry for Lee Kuntz's team. Lee Kuntz, the head coach of Wheat Ridge in his 2nd year last year, took the Farmers to the 4A quarterfinals before they lost to my alma mater, the Regis Red Raiders, in the 4A quarterfinals. Speaking of alma maters, here's an interesting note. Of course, Dave Logan coaching against his alma mater tonight. This afternoon, I should say. It's 3rd and 20, ball at the Wheat Ridge 10. Marvel hands it off to Favero. He's dropped at the line of scrimmage, only give him a couple. The Arvada West defensive line not giving up any ground, and they're going to force a punt right away, and the state's leading punter is going to do the duties. Tony Gamberg, 6'1", 220-pound senior for the Farmers, averages over 50 yards a kick. You should pay attention, though, to not out-kicking his coverage, because Mike Duran and Brad Pyatt are back to receive it, standing at about their own 43. I don't know if there are 2 quicker kids in the state who are on one punt routine or one punt return team than Duran and Pyatt. Gamberg gets the clap snap cleanly, kicks a high spiraling kick. Duran receives it at the 45, eludes one tackler, breaks another one, has it into our Wheat Ridge territory, down to the Farmer 43, and that's where the Wildcats are going to set up their offense. Tailback today starting Chad Jones. He's going to split some time with Mike Duran, the man who returned that punt. Jim Krako is the fullback, and Arvada West, as you well know, is going to go with 2 quarterbacks, David Wyatt and Derek Cavallari. Cavallari usually gets the start, and he is the man. That was a 43-yard punt, and it was good for about a 15-yard return for Duran. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, ball at the 43. Play fake. Cavallari pressured by Andy Burke. Rolls to his right, throws to Pyatt. He's tackled for a loss. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play. A nice play there by Aaron Lucas for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Nice tackle there. Actually counted as a loss of 1. Good pressure, though, by Andy Burke. He was able to get into the backfield, force Cavallari on the run, and, you know, when you're rolling out, when you're on the run, that makes it a much more difficult pass than if you're standing still. 2nd and 11 for the Wildcats. Pyatt and Micah Paldino split to the left. No receivers to the right. 1 back. That's Chad Jones. Give it to Jones. Breaks off a tackle to the right side. Finds some running room. Nice solo tackle, though, by Chris Marvel. Give Jones 3 on the carry, so it's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Wildcats. Mike Duran and Jeremy Craighead checking in. Paldino and Jeff Flora checking out. Flora plays linebacker on defense. He also sees some time on offense in the double tight end set. 3 receivers to the left, Ransom, Duran, and Craighead. Pyatt, the lone receiver, to the right. 3rd and 8 for the Wildcats. Wheat Ridge defense creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Here they come, a lot of pressure. Tries to set up the wide receiver screen to Duran. Cavallari throws it short. Anthony Rojas with the pressure for the Farmers. So right off the bat, both teams with good defensive stands, and Arvada West forced to punt on their first possession. Not the crispness Dave Logan would like to see from this offense starting off this third game of the season. Duren back to punt on the year, averaging a little over 40 yards a kick. Wheat Ridge has 2 men back. Snap is short. Duren picks it up, an end-over-end kick. Not bad despite the snap. It goes out of bounds at the 13-yard line, so it's down to inside the 20. You can't ask for much more than that, so Wheat Ridge backed up again. Poor field position again for the Farmers. A 28-yard punt there by Mike Duren. Wheat Ridge started off the game with no running backs in the backfield. They had 4 men split all to the right side. Arvada West just brought the house, put a lot of pressure on Marvel. Be interesting to see how often we're going to see Wheat Ridge do that again. Robert Wunderlich with that sack there on the first possession. He's on the defensive line for Arvada West, along with Joe Knight, Rob Morelez, and Chris Chavez. I formation for the Farmers. Wide receivers to the left and right. Give it to the I back. He's got very little running room. The tackle there made by Jeff Flora and Ryan Palmer. A short game. Give him maybe 3 yards for Favero, and that's going to bring up 2nd down and 7. Wheat Ridge on the game, 3 rushes, no yards. That Arvada West defense very salty here in the early going. Back split, Porter and Lucas. Ariano to the left, Crest to the right. Marvel looks to his left, overthrows Ariano. Interception almost had by Duren. Incomplete pass. That was a high pass. Ariano couldn't bring it down. Mike Duren trailing the play, almost had a shot at an interception. So right now the Wheat Ridge offense really struggling. They went through some struggles last week. Again, we mentioned they built a 21-7 lead over Centaurus, but they were scoreless in the second half, getting outscored at 19-0. So this offense experienced some problems in the second half last week, and those problems seem to be haunting them here in the early going of this ball game. We've got 7:36 remaining here in the first half. 0-0 score, second possession today for the Farmers. Cress and Ariano on the right side. Running back split behind Marvel. Airy West defense threatening to blitz. Here comes John Flora. He has Marvel. Marvel escapes. He escapes a second tackler, but brought down by the shoelaces by Jaden McNeely. The first time we've called Jaden's name today. Nice defensive play by McNeely. He is a 6'1", 215-pound junior, and just like that, Arvada West holds the Wheat Ridge offense to 3 plays and out. Arvada West already with 2 sacks on the day. Jaden McNeely with 1 and Robert Wunderlich for 1. So Duren and Pyatt back to receive the punt for the second time today, standing at about their own 45, about the same place they stood the last time Gamberg punted. His first punt was a nice one. High spiral, covered about 43 yards. Good snap. Puts another leg to it. Another high spiraling kick. They should get pretty good coverage. That's Duren fielding it at his 40. Nice block there by Paldina. Duren's got some running room. He gets to the outside. He could be off to the races. Puts a move on Gamberg, and he's gone. 60 yards on the return, and just like that, Arvada West strikes. I mentioned that punt return team for the Wildcats, how quick they are, but doesn't matter how quick you are, you got to get help from the up men, and they got it there. Micah Paldino with the key block. He gave Duren the block that allowed him to initially get to the outside. Arvada West set up the wall, and 54 yards on the return for Mike Duren, and Arvada West, just like that, gets up on the board, 6-0. So when your offense seems to be struggling, you go to the special team. That's what Arvada West did. I know that's at least the second punt return this year for a touchdown. Pyatt had one in the first week against Fort Collins. The kick is up and good by Grant Callan. So with 6:37 remaining here in the first quarter, the state's top-ranked team, Arvada West, takes a 7-0 lead over the visiting Wheat Ridge Farmers. 7-0, Arvada West leads it. That's the danger when you go 3 and out. You got to punt to these guys, and whether it's Duren or Pyatt, every time one of those guys touches the ball, they're a threat to take it all the way. Duren on the season at the running back position, 25 carries for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. that indicates that he is a big play guy. And Brad Pyatt, what can you say about him on the season? 9 catches, not an obscene number, but 290 yards receiving. That's over 32 yards per catch. He has 3 touchdowns. We mentioned the punt return he had for a touchdown against Fort Collins. Those 2 guys are big play players for Dave Logan's offense, and Duran provides them with the spark here in their early going against Wheat Ridge. Helgeson getting ready to put a foot into it here. Again, 6:36 remaining here in the first quarter. Straightaway kick, you don't see much of that anymore. End over end kick. This one might be returnable. Ariano at the goal line brings it out, looking for some running room. Nowhere to run. John Flores got a shot at him. Ariano breaks a tackle, and now he does have some running room. Brought down eventually, though, at the 35-yard line. A nice tackle by Brad Pyatt. So playing special teams and playing it well. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle. Ariano was able to break away from John Flora and a few other Wildcats at about the 10-yard line. Got to the outside, and he saw he had about a wall of blockers, 3 or 4 guys blocking for him. Somehow Pyatt was able to sneak in there and catch him up by the shoelaces. So a nice return, 35 yards by Ariano, and finally Wheat Ridge has some nice field position. They started their first drive at their own 20. Their second drive began at their own 13, and now they've got a little bit of field position to work with, starting at their own 35. Backs split behind Marvel. David Kress out to the right, Ariano to the left. Play fake looks like a reverse to Kress, snuffed out by a number of A-West players. The tackle eventually made by Dirk Cisneros, but give credit to Rob Morella, as he was the first guy that made Kress cut it up to the inside. Cisneros, staying his ground, was able to get the tackle. A gain of 1 on the play. I believe that is the first yard rushing today for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 9. Well-coached defense there by Arvada West. Wheat Ridge trying to run the reverse, but a number of players staying their ground, holding their positions, snuffing out the play. There's a legal motion by the Wheat Ridge Farmers on the right side. Mark Zamora, a surprise starter, a 6'2", 245-pound junior, moved first. He is playing right tackle for Wheat Ridge. That's going to back up the Farmers, so it's going to be 2nd down, and let's call it 14 for Wheat Ridge. And that is not the kind of position you want to be in against a good defense. Arvada West here with the possibility of pinning their ears back and getting after the quarterback. However, Wheat Ridge staying with the I formation. Press out to the right, Ariano to the left, Porter in the backfield. 3-step drop over to the right side, overthrows his man badly. The intended receiver was Brandon Weakland. That pass was high, so Marvel getting off to a fairly slow start this afternoon. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. He's going to need to do much better than that. Wheat Ridge is hoping to pull off the big upset here this afternoon. 3rd down, 15 for the Farmers. Ball at their own 30-yard line. Two men in the backfield, Aaron Lucas and Steve Porter. David Kress off to the right, Weakland to the left. 7-step drop, pressured by Wunderlich, gets the pass away, and Kress has it at about the 39-yard line. Nice play there by Marvel. He got leveled by Wunderlich, and he is still on the ground as the trainers come out for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. Of course, you hate to speculate in a situation like this. A gain of 10 on the play. It's still about 5 yards short, so Wheat Ridge is going to be forced to punt. But Chris Marvel took a mean hit from Robert Wunderlich. Wunderlich barreling in from his left side. Hit Marvel right as Marvel threw the ball. Drove him to the ground. That's probably where he got the wind knocked out of him. He is sitting up, which is good news. And he's walking off the field. So Chris Marvel probably just got the wind knocked out of him. Of course, those are the hits that, through the course of a game, can mount up and make a quarterback very gun-shy. Robert Wunderlich already with a sack today. Give him a quarterback pressure as well. He's having his way with the Wheat Ridge offensive line. The man he is beating is Mark Zamora. That was a man who had the illegal procedure penalty just a few plays ago. So Wheat Ridge forced to punt for the 3rd time already here in the first quarter. 5:18 remaining. Gamberg back to put a foot in it. We mentioned he is the state's leading punter, averaging over 50 yards a punt. Not quite that good today, but he is averaging about 45 yards a punt. This one, not quite as good as his others. High, short, caught by Duren. We got a flag on the play. He's got lots of running room, makes a couple men miss right up the gut, eventually tackled in Wheat Ridge territory, but we do have a flag. I think it's going to come back. We've probably got a hold on Arvada West. 42-yard punt, though, for Gamberg, so he's had 3 punts all well over 40 yards. Pretty good height on those as well. He's given his punt return or punt defense team a chance to get downfield. They just haven't been able to stop that high-powered return tandem of Wyatt and Durham, or Pyatt and Durham, Duren, I should say, and Duren's been the guy fielding the punts. The refs are talking with J.P. DeZeriga, Wheat Ridge's middle linebacker. He's a big kid, too. 230 pounds, only a junior, and of course, Wheat Ridge is going to take the penalty. So this is going to march A West way back in their territory, probably around their own 20-yard line, as a penalty was committed at the 31. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Arvada West. It's going to be a 15-yarder, so it takes it all the way back inside the Arvada West 20 at their 16-yard line. So Arvada West has 84 yards between them and the Wheat Ridge Farmer goal line. Cavallari still at quarterback for the Wildcats. However, Duren has replaced Jones as a lone setback. 4 wide receivers. Keep an eye on Brad Pyatt. He is wide right and in motion. Coming towards the line of scrimmage, Cavallari, 7-step drop, lots of pressure, swings it out to Duren. He's chased by a couple Wheat Ridge Farmers, breaks a tackle. However, we do have a flag. Looks like it could have been a face mask. Let's see what the call is. But when you got guys like Pyatt and Duren, why not just dump the ball off to them in a play like that and let them make some plays? Looks like the flag is going to go against Arvada West again. The ref's talking with Zeriga, Wheat Ridge's middle linebacker. Looks like it might be a clip, so this is going to bring it back even further for Arvada West. That's their second penalty. This one costs them about, let's say, 8 or 9 yards, so it's going to be 1st down and 18. The ball inside the 10 at, let's say, the 9-yard line. Arvada West seriously backed up in this one. This is where you want to guard against turning it over, giving Wheat Ridge some life. Right now, the Wheat Ridge offense hasn't been able to do anything. You don't want to give them the ball here deep in your own territory, obviously. It looked like there might have been some movement there. Cavallari drops back, has some room to run, throws over the middle, has his man. It's Jeremy Craighead out across the 30. He makes a catch at the 32-yard line, a pickup of about 21 yards. Actually, they're going to mark it up closer to about the 33-yard line. So about a 25-yard pickup there from Cavallari to Craighead. And just like that poor field position we talked to you about, erased. Nice play by Cavallari. He felt pressure coming from the defensive ends for Wheat Ridge. Good pocket awareness. He stepped up in the pocket, was able to throw on the run, found his man wide open in the middle of the field. Good pocket awareness there by the senior Derek Cavallari. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Handed off to Duren. He cuts it up on the inside, has a little running room out close to the 40-yard line. Gain of 6 yards on the play. Andy Burke there on the tackle for the Farmers. So we've got 2nd down and 4 for Arvada West. Cavallari, 2 of 3 already for 23 yards. He is off to a fairly good start. Micah Paldino checks in. Jeremy Craighead checks out. Of course, Craighead was the man who made that last reception for the 1st down. Paldino split left. Brad Pyatt out to the right. 2 running backs behind Cavallari. It's Crayco and Duren. Crayco, of course, is a fullback. Duren in motion to the left. Crayco, the lone setback. Handed off to Crayco. He's hit immediately by Nick Haney. Spins out of that tackle, but brought down by a host of Farmers. The charge led by Jim Shefflin and Anthony Rojas. Loss of 2 on the play, so that brings up 3rd down and 6 for Arvada West. Josh Ranson checking in. Jim Crayco, Ryan Bernhorn checking out. Micah Paldino and Jeremy Craighead also coming in for Arvada West.
3rd down and 6.
Third down and 6 for Arvada West. They've got the ball about their own 37-yard line. Paldino split wide left, Ransom in the slot, Pyatt out on the far right side along with Duran. Cavallari, 7-step drop, looks deep for Pyatt. That pass is overthrown. Actually, he wasn't looking for Pyatt. He was looking for Craighead. The pass was overthrown. Good coverage on the play by Adam Arianos and David Kress. So that's going to bring up a punting situation for Arvada West, and the 2 times the A-West offense has touched the ball this afternoon, haven't been able to do much with it. They've had to punt both times. They had the big passing play from Cavallari to Craighead. It's just been that 54-yard punt return by Mike Duran. That's been the difference here in the first quarter. 2:22 remaining. Arvada West leads it 7-0. Duran bobbles the snap. Here comes Nick Heaney. Duran is able to kick it and get it away. Nice job by Mike Duran. And not a bad punt. It gets an Arvada West roll out at the 23-yard line. That was a 37-yard punt under duress. Mike Duran bobbled the snap. The snap looked pretty good. Just looked like he might have taken his eye off the ball. Nick Heaney came rushing in from his defensive line position, put pressure on Duran, but Duran was able to get it away, punted it right foot, and gets a 37-yard kick away, and Wheat Ridge is going to have it 1st and 10 on their own 23. Nice play there by Mike Duran. So the Wheat Ridge Farmer offense has not shown up here this afternoon. Their total yards have to be well under 10. I only got a couple rushing yards, and Marvel is 0 for 2 throwing, so they've really been stymied here by the Arvada West defense. 1st and 10, ball on the 23-yard line. I formation for the Farmers, handed off to Aaron Lucas. He is stuffed up Joe Knight, Rob Morales, a number of A-West defensive linemen on the tackle. That's going to be a loss of 1, so it's going to be 2nd down and 11. 10 yards total offense for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Let's give kudos to our stat man, Pat Chavez, here this afternoon. Second down and 11 for Wheat Ridge. Chris Marvel, we should mention, is back into the game. The last time Wheat Ridge had the ball, Robert Wunderlich put a big hit on him, knocked the wind out of him. Marvel is back quarterbacking the Farmer offense. Favero and Porter in the backfield. 2-step drop, throws it high on the outside, looking for his wide receiver. Good coverage there by Duran. He was looking for Adam Ariano. Pass was overthrown, so that's going to bring up 2nd down and 11. Right now, the Wheat Ridge offense really looks like a team searching for something, anything that's going to get them going. Wheat Ridge quarterback 1 of 5 here this afternoon for 10 yards. Well below the afternoon he had last weekend against Centaurus, 14 of 30, 227 yards. He did throw 3 touchdowns. He is a long way away from those numbers here late in the first quarter. 1:21 remaining. Clock stopped because of the incompletion. 7-0 Arvada West. Mike Duran with the 54-yard punt return, that being the difference in the ball game here early on. Another passing situation for the Farmers. A short pickup, pass caught at the 25 by Brandon Weekland, a gain of 3, so it's going to be 3rd down and call it 8 for Wheat Ridge, and they're going to have to punt again. The 4th punt for Tony Gamberg here this afternoon. Lee Kuntz can't be happy with the offensive production his team has put on display here this afternoon. Of course, Arvada West with that high-powered offense, the more chances you give them, the better chance they have of breaking a big one. Duran and Pyatt, actually it's Ransom and Pyatt back to receive the punt. Good snap, very little pressure. A poor kick by Gamberg, got it off the inside portion of his foot. Going to be out of bounds probably around the 50-yard line. The referee walking up the far side, and he stops at the 50-yard line. A 24-yard punt by Tony Gamberg, and no return on the play. That might be the best news for the Farmers. So Arvada West with good field position here. They're going to start it at their own 50-yard line. David Wyatt is coming in at quarterback, of course. He being the junior, he splits time with Cavallari at that position for Dave Logan's offense. Wyatt, the man who made the big throw last week, the touchdown pass in the final minute to Brad Pyatt, giving Arvada West that emotional win over their arch rival, the Mullen Mustangs. Pyatt lined up in the backfield, in the slot, in motion. Little play fake, handed off to the running back. He's got some running room down inside the 35-yard line. It looks like the play might be coming back. Matt Sims with the carry, the first time we've called his name this afternoon. A pickup, 17 yards, but it may be coming back. Illegal motion on Arvada West, so that play goes for naught. A nice run there by Sims, and good blocking by the offensive line. Joe Shepard, Jamie Seek, Eric Helgeson. Those guys did a job opening up a hole on the right side. However, this one is coming back. Arvada West, 3 penalties already today for 28 yards, a stat that I'm sure Dave Logan will take a long, hard look at this upcoming week. So it's going to be first down and 15, ball now in Arvada West's own territory at their own 45-yard line. Brad Pyatt coming out to the left. Caldino split right. We've got Krako and Sims in the backfield. The third tailback Arvada West has used here in the early going. Wyatt takes a snap, hands it off to Sims. He's got a little bit of running room, but a nice tackle there by Mike Favero, stopping Sims for a short gain. Let's call it 2. It's going to be second down and 13. The clock is running, and it has run out here in the first quarter. So Arvada West with the lead heading into the second quarter of play here this afternoon. They lead at 7-0 over the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Of course, the only difference being that punt return by Mike Duran. Got the ball at his own 46-yard line. Got a great block by Micah Paldino. Took it down the right side. Was barely touched. Put 7 on the board for the Wildcats. They're going to start the second half with a second and 13 down position on their own 47-yard line. So far in the first quarter, some first half statistics. Arvada West, 94 yards rushing, 23 yards passing. That is a total, if I can do some quick math, 117 total yards here in the first half for Arvada West. Wheat Ridge, they've had a tough go of it. They've probably got about 13, 14 yards of total offense here in the early going. The Arvada West defense has definitely been on target here this afternoon. 24 yards passing for Wheat Ridge, no yards rushing. They have 24 total yards. Second down, 13, ball at the 47-yard line. Sims the lone tailback, 4 wide receivers in this set. A late handoff to Sims. He's able to squeak his way over the midfield stripe into Wheat Ridge territory at the 49. Mike Favero may have got a hand in there on the tackle. So we've got third down and 9 for the junior quarterback, David White. Again, the Arvada West offense not setting the world on fire here in the early going in this game. Wheat Ridge's defense keeping them in. It was just that big play on special teams that was the difference. Of course, the Arvada West defense has been sensational, really shutting down Wheat Ridge's offense. Wyatt under center, 4 wide receivers, 2 left, 2 right, finds Brad Pyatt. Brad Pyatt crunched, breaks a tackle, gets to the outside, gets a great block from Jeremy Craighead, makes another move, and he is gone. Brad Pyatt with a big play. So Duran had the big play on the punt return. Pyatt there making something out of nothing on the short pass. 47 yards on the completion from David Wyatt to Brad Pyatt. Wyatt to Pyatt on the play, 47 yards, and he took a big hit from somebody. He was able to elude the tackler, though. The tackler didn't wrap up, and Pyatt only going 6'1", 185. He's a lot tougher than that. He's a tough man to bring down. He showed you that on that play. Bouncing off the tackler, breaking to the outside, eluding the tackle of David Kress at about the 10-yard line and waltzing into the end zone. That's Brad Pyatt's 4th touchdown reception on the year, and true to his averages. He averages 32 yards a catch. He had 9 catches for 292 yards coming into this game. He's got 1 catch today for 46 yards, and it's a big one. 2 catches, I should say, for 46 yards. That's right, he caught a pass for -1 yards his first time. So Brad Pyatt living up to the reputation of being a big play player. And early on here in the second quarter, 11:09 remaining. Arvada West with the lead, 14-0, and it's been the big play that's been the Achilles heel for the Farmers. I mean, they've played good defense. They've just given up 2 big plays, one on the punt return and then one there on the 3rd and 9 situation. So Eric Helgeson's going to get another chance to kick this one off. His first kick went through the end zone. The second one was returnable. Adam Ariano had a 35-yard return. Arvada West quarterbacks, 3 completions today for 70 yards. Of course, David Wyatt with the big completion, a 47-yarder to Brad Pyatt for the touchdown. Ariano and Aaron Lucas back to receive the kick for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. About time for the Farmers to put some points up on the board. If they let this thing get too far out of hand, it's going to be a long afternoon for Lee Kuntz's team. Helgeson with a nice high kick. It's going to be received by Ariano in the end zone. Can't catch it. That makes the play dead, so they're going to bring it out to the 20-yard line, and that's where Wheat Ridge is going to set up shop. And field position hasn't been in their favor in this football game. They've started at their 20, their 13, their 35, and then I think again at about their 17-yard line. This time they've got it at their own 20. 1st and 10 for the Farmers. Arvada West defensive line's really been sensational. The big guys up front have really dominated play. Rob Morellas and Joe Knight, the defensive tackles, and the ends, Chris Chavez and Robert Wunderlich, have created a ton of havoc in the Wheat Ridge backfield, and that's been the difference in this game, at least defensively, for Arvada West. Marvel with the handoff to Kress around the right side, breaks a tackle. No, he doesn't. Tripped up by Jesse Bannon. Nice tackle there by Bannon for about a 2-yard loss, so we'll call it 2nd down and 12. Bannon, arguably the best defensive back on this team, 5'10", 160-pound senior. And again, the Arvada West defense held their ground. That was a misdirection play. Kress came from his slot position to take the handoff. Bannon didn't bite, held his ground, and was able to make the tackle. -1 yards rushing today for the Wheat Ridge offense. Marvel pitches it to Lucas. Lucas breaks a tackle. Actually, that's Ariano. He's finally tripped up by Dirk Cisneros. That's going to be actually, he may have gained a yard on that play, so we're going to, no, he lost yardage. He lost about another yard for Wheat Ridge, so it's going to be 3rd down and 12 for the Farmers, and this is an offense that is really searching for anything to go their way. Their longest play from scrimmage has been 10 yards, and that was on 3rd and 15. So Marvel under center. He's got 2 running backs. Porter and Lucas split behind him. 3 wide receivers. Weekland and Ariano. Marvel back to pass. Has time. Overthrows his man. The intended receiver was Grant Palin. He also beat the place kicker for the Farmers. So another 3-and-out situation for Arvada West. That defense really setting the tone early in this game. Tony Gamberg coming into this game, Wheat Ridge's fine punter, leading the state with over a 50-yard clip. He's got 4 punts today for 37 yards. Pyatt and Duran standing at their own 40 to return this kick. And again, Wheat Ridge has had the ball 4 or 5 times in this game, and they are still looking for their first down. Gamberg has trouble handling it. Chavez there to put some pressure on him. Gets a pretty good punt away. Neither Duran or Pyatt field it. One of them should have been able to catch the ball. It looks like Pyatt says he might have lost it in the sun. He called for Duran just to get away from it. The ball is down at the 45-yard line, and true to Gamberg's average, came in today averaging 37 yards on his first 4 punts. That one a good, solid 37 yards. So Arvada West once again with good field position. They have the ball at their own 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Craighead and Duran split left. Pyatt now the tailback. So this is the 4th player we've seen man the tailback position for the Wildcats. He's in motion, so there is a no backs. They empty the backfield. Pyatt set on the right side. Wyatt looks to his left, throws it to Duran. Nice play there on the end by Adam Ariano. He breaks up the pass. Good timing. He would have got there a second earlier. Would have been called interference, but he made contact with Duran right as the ball approached Duran. Nice play by Ariano. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats. Arvada West has had a tough time getting their ground game going here today. Only 12 rushing yards for the Wildcats. Chad Jones back in the game for A West. Pyatt on the right. Couple men split to the left. I believe it's Duran and Craighead. Wyatt under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Jones. He eludes one man, breaks another tackle, brings it out across midfield into Wheat Ridge territory. They finally wrestle him down at about the 48-yard line of the Farmers. A gain of 7 on the play for Chad Jones, so that's going to bring up 3rd and short for Arvada West. Nice move there by Jones. He took the handoff, and there was a potential tackler there for Wheat Ridge, but Jones made a nice, quick move, kept his balance, kept his momentum, was able to elude that first tackler, and then pick up an extra 5 yards in the play. So a nice piece of running there by Chad Jones. Krako and Jones in the backfield. Arvada West brings in the fullback. Pyatt to the left, Craighead to the left. Fakes a handoff. Wyatt is hit hard and fumbles, and the Wheat Ridge Farmers recover a big play there on defense by Chris Marvel comes in. The blitz from his free safety position. Arvada West had no one accounting him, and he gets a free shot at Wyatt. Wyatt fumbles it, and the Farmers recover, so they needed a big play on defense, and they got one then. They're going to have it 1st and 10 at the Arvada West 40, and this is by far their best field position of the afternoon. First sack on the afternoon for the Farmers. Chris Marvel, as we said, the quarterback, making the big play. Now let's see if he can build on that momentum and make a big play from his quarterback position. He's got 2 running backs split behind him. He's got a wide receiver to the right, that's Adam Ariano, and a wide receiver to the left. 3-step drop, looks deep, going for 7. Ariano's got a step, but Marvel overthrows him just by a yard. That was a nice looking play, though. Marvel threw a pretty nice pass. Ariano just a step slow, not being able to get to it. Jesse Bannon with the coverage and tight coverage out there on the outside for the Wildcats. 2nd down and 10 for the Farmers. Marvel 2 of 7, only 13 yards throwing here this afternoon, so a tough start for the senior quarterback for Lee Kuntz's club. 8:25 remaining. Arvada West leads it 14-0 over the Wheat Ridge Farmers. 2nd down and 10. 2 wide receivers to the left. David Kress in motion, actually stops in the backfield, hands it off to the fullback, Seth Porter. He picks up 2 on the play on the tackle. Ryan Palmer, Jeff Flora, and Rob Morales, or actually check that, that's Joe Knight. So a couple players there with the assist on the tackle, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and let's call it 7 yards for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Again, they're in a 3rd and long position, and it's awful tough to pick up 1st downs when the opponents know you need to throw the ball. Wheat Ridge only 1 yard running so far here this afternoon. Again, what can you say about that Arvada West defense? They've really been the dominant force on the field this afternoon. Marvel under center. He's got a wide receiver on the left and right, a running back in motion. Marvel throws it to Porter. He's crushed again. This time, pressure coming from Jeff Flora and Robert Wunderlich. Marvel picks himself up off the turf. Pass was incomplete. It was intended for Steve Porter. However, Porter turned around about a second too late for the pass. So once again, Arvada West's defense with another 3 and out, and to my count, Wheat Ridge hasn't had a 1st down yet in this football game. An awesome defensive performance here by the Arvada West Wildcats. You almost might consider, with the ball on the Arvada West 37-yard line, you might want to go for it. You haven't had a chance to get much going. This has been your best field position of the day. And here's a fake punt. Adam Ariano going to try to outrun the Arvada West defense, but he is tripped up by Dirk Cisneros. 2nd time we've called his name. The 5'9", 165-pound junior is able to snuff out the fake punt. And so Arvada West is going to take over command of the football at their own 32-yard line. And you had to feel that Wheat Ridge had to take a shot there. They haven't been able to move the ball at all. It was 3rd down and 7. It's been the only time they've been in Arvada West territory. The other 4 times they've had the ball, they haven't even been close. They haven't picked up a 1st down. They needed to make something happen on that series. A fake punt, not a surprise to me, and I'm sure not a surprise to Dave Logan and his defense, as they were able to snuff it out. So the Wildcats take control of 1st down and 10, ball at the 32-yard line. Derek Cavallari checking back in for the Arvada West offense. He's going to be their quarterback in this series of down. It looks like we have a timeout on the field. Arvada West calls a timeout. Dave Logan runs out to the field, talks it over with his offense. He gets in the huddle with them, maybe reliving a few of the glory days. Just kidding, Dave. Well, it's been an awesome performance by the Arvada West defense here this afternoon. As we mentioned, the Wheat Ridge offense still is looking for their first down of the game, and we've got 7:31 remaining here in the second quarter. Offensively, it's been the big play for the Wildcats. That's been their forte over the past few years, and Brad Pyatt, true to the word, he had a 47-yard touchdown reception in the second quarter, or I guess, early in the second quarter, which gave Arvada West a 14-0 advantage. Our first score comes from Mike Duran on a 54-yard punt return. 1st and 10, Cavallari with the play fake. He's pressured there by Chris Marvel. Marvel with his second sack of the afternoon. There is a flag on the play. Chris Marvel wreaking havoc from his free safety position. He's cheating up to the line of scrimmage, rushing the passer. A-West has yet to account for that here this afternoon. It looks like it's going to be a holding call against Arvada West. If I'm Wheat Ridge, I decline it. You've got them backed up already in about a second down and 19 yards. All you do is gain a yard by accepting the penalty, but you lose a down, so I don't think there's any reason why you'd accept the penalty, and they decline it as they should. So it's going to be 2nd down and 19 for Arvada West. Chris Marvel once again coming in from his free safety position, applying pressure on David Wyatt, his second sack here of the afternoon. Ball placed at the 23-yard line of the Wildcats. They've got Krako and Duran in the backfield. Pyatt split right, Craighead split left. They hand it off to Duran. He is hit immediately for a short gain on the tackle. Dominic Suazo with the pressure. So good defense there by the Farmers, and it's going to bring up 3rd down, and let's call it 18 for Arvada West. Craighead and Chad Jones check in for the Wildcats. Krako gets to come out and take a seat. Arvada West only with 22 yards rushing here on the afternoon, so as often as we've talked about their defense playing well, Wheat Ridge's defense hasn't been too bad either. They've given up the big play to Pyatt, but other than that, they've really shut down the Arvada West offense. 3rd down, 18 yards. Cavallari running the option, pitches it to Jones. He's got a little bit of running room, breaks a tackle or two. He's got a 1st down and more. He's off to the races, gets a good block by Helgeson. One man to beat, that's Adam Ariano. Ariano slows him up as the tackle is eventually made by Tom Plummer. But a huge gain on the play, 56 yards for Chad Jones. So on 3rd and long, Arvada West runs the option, and the play call there by Dave Logan and his counterparts comes up big. A 56-yard gain for Chad Jones as he took it to the left side of the field, then came all the way back to the right side. Chad Jones, 2 carries today, 53 yards, not a bad average. And again, the big play for Arvada West, haunting the Wheat Ridge defense. So it's going to be 1st and 10 ball at the Wheat Ridge 23-yard line. Nice to see Eric Helgeson, the big guy, the right offensive tackle, getting down the field on that one and actually giving Jones a block down the field about 20, 25 yards downfield. Paulino in motion. There's a little confusion on the A-West offense. It looks like Paulino might have been in the wrong position. Cavallari slaps him on the head, and A-West is going to take a timeout. It's their second. And Dave Logan once again comes out to the field to have a talk with his offense. Not happy with him, as you can see. Very animated Dave Logan having a talk with Micah Paulino, Brad Pyatt, and some guys. Looking for a little crisper performance, I'm sure, here in the 3rd game of the season. But nonetheless, Arvada West taking on a team ranked in the top 10 in 4A, and right now they've got a 14-0 lead, and that lead appears fairly safe as the Arvada West defense has been spectacular. Cavallari, 3 completions, 70 yards. And Arvada West now 78 yards rushing here on the afternoon. So let's call it 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. Brad Pyatt in the backfield, 3 wide receivers to the right. Pyatt in motion. They like to bring him in motion from a number of different angles. Now Micah Paulino comes in motion. This time the Wildcats got it right. Cavallari takes a snap, almost trips, looks, fires. That pass is going to be intercepted by Aaron Lucas. An ill-advised pass as he threw it up for grabs, and Lucas, playing his safety position, just stood underneath it and caught it. So the second turnover of the afternoon for the Wildcats, that one being costly because they were in the red zone. Turnovers in the red zone, those aren't what you want. So Wheat Ridge is going to take over the football inside their own 10-yard line. The ball is placed at the 9. Another opportunity for that Arvada West defense to make something happen. We're midway through the second quarter, 5:35 remaining. 14-0 Arvada West in the lead. On the day, Wheat Ridge 3 carries, 5 yards. They got about half their total on that carry there as Ariano took it up, or actually Steve Porter took it up the gut for a couple. Give him a gain of 3. And so that's going to bring up 2nd down and 7, and that's one of the better first down plays Wheat Ridge has been able to run. Second down, and let's call it 6, so give Porter a gain of 4 on that play. They've got the full house backfield in now. We knew we'd see this kind of set a little bit. Marble hands it off, and there's some running room there for Mike Favaro. He is close to their first down of the afternoon as he's tackled at about the 19-yard line. Let's see where the officials mark it. But a nice looking play there as they just gave it to Favaro over the right side, and he had a little bit of running room. It is a first down, so at the 4:54 mark of the second quarter, Wheat Ridge finally is able to move the chains for the first time. It's going to be 1st and 10, ball at their own 20-yard line. Again, Wheat Ridge goes with the full house backfield. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They got 1 carry for 6 yards. Hand it off to Favaro again. This time, not much running room as looks like Jeff Flora was in on the tackle along with Robert Wunderlich and Rob Morellas. They stuffed things up pretty good. That's a gain of 1 on the play, so it's going to be 2nd down and 9 for Wheat Ridge. Second down, 9. Full house backfield again for Wheat Ridge. This time it's Favaro testing the left side. He's got a little bit of running room, a gain of 4 out to the 25-yard line. So that brings up a 3rd down and 5 situation for Wheat Ridge. And they really could stand to move the chains here a little bit, get their defense off the field, and let this Arvada West defense see a few plays. I mean, Arvada West, the first 5 times Wheat Ridge touched the ball, had them 3 and out, so this defense is well rested. If you're a Farmer fan, you'd like to see Wheat Ridge, move the ball a little bit. Don't necessarily have to score, however, that would be nice, obviously. But they could move the chains, just give their offense a little bit of rest. Ariano with the pitch on the right side makes a nice move and is tackled, I believe, just short of the first down. Nice play there by Josh Ransom. Ryan Palmer also out there to help on the play, and it looks like it's going to be a first down, so a nice play there, a gain of 5 for Adam Ariano. And Wheat Ridge gets their 2nd consecutive first down. The Farmers finally starting to get something going here. Again, it's been 3.5 quarters since they've been able to put any points on the board. They were held scoreless in the second half against Centaurus last weekend. So far today, with about under 4 minutes left, Wheat Ridge still not able to put up any points on the scoreboard. Full house backfield, hands it off to Aaron Lucas. He goes for 2, maybe 3 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 for the Farmers. Clock is running. We've got 2:46:45 and counting on the clock. 14-0 Arvada West leads it here late in the second quarter. Again, Wheat Ridge working out of the full house backfield. Marvel under center. Hands it off to his fullback. That's Steve Porter fighting his way up the gut for another 3 yards. Rob Morella is in on the tackle along with Jaden McNeely. So that's going to bring up what looks to be about a 3rd down and 4, maybe 3rd down and 5 for Wheat Ridge. So here they're looking for their 3rd consecutive 3rd down. Here's a point I wanted to make. Arvada West has great size at their linebacker position. I mean, this sounds like a college team. Middle linebacker goes 6'1", 240. That's not too bad. Jaden McNeely, one outside backer, 6'1", 215. Jeff Flora, 6'2", 220. That's pretty good size for a high school linebacking crew. Marvel runs the option and is clobbered by the Purple People Eaters. That's what I'm going to call him here today. Ryan Palmer with the tackle, the junior middle linebacker who we mentioned, 6'1", 240-pound junior. All over that play. Marvel loses about 2 on the play, so Wheat Ridge forced to punt. But if you're a Farmer fan, good news, you were able to get a little something going. A couple first downs. They were able to take some time off the clock. They're going to punt it away now. The ball's resting at their own 34-yard line. This drive started inside their 10, so they were able to gain some yardage and turn the field position around a little bit. We've got 1:15 left here in the second quarter. Maybe more importantly, they took some time off the clock, allowing A West with very little time to get something going. Wobbly kick that Pyatt and Duran are going to let fall. It bounces across the 20 down to about the 15-yard line of Arvada West, so that's a pretty good punt by Tony Gamberg. It didn't look good, but it got a Farmer roll inside the Wheat Ridge 20, a punt of 51 yards. So Tony Gamberg does his job backing up the Arvada West offense, and they're going to take over with 58 seconds left. It's going to be interesting to see how Arvada West decides to go about these final 58 seconds. Are they going to put it up in the air and look for a score? Are they going to keep it on the ground and run out the clock? My bet is they're going to try to get the ball in the hands of Duran or Pyatt on some kind of safe play, but a play where maybe one of those two guys is able to break a couple tackles and make something happen. 1st and 10, Krako and Duran in the backfield. Pyatt split to the right. There's a handoff to Duran. He's got a little bit of running room around the left side. Breaks a tackle, and he's off to the races. One man to beat. No one's going to catch him. Mike Duran out into the open. Another big play for the Wildcats. 85 yards in the play, so he has an 85-yard touchdown run in this one, plus a 54-yard touchdown on a punt return, and just like that, Arvada West scores. So that's how they're going to attack the final 58 seconds of the second half. A straight handoff to Duran, broke a tackle. Andy Burke had a great shot at him, the linebacker for Wheat Ridge, but he just missed the tackle. Duran 3 carries, 94 yards here this afternoon, 31-yard average, and just like that, Arvada West goes up 21-0. And the way this game has been played, you wouldn't believe it, because Arvada West hasn't dominated offensively. They've just been able to make some big plays, some poor tackling by Wheat Ridge, and like that, Arvada West up 20-0. Allen tacking on the extra point. The kick is up and good, so it is 21-0. We've got 41 seconds here remaining in the second half. As Dave Armstrong of the Colorado Rockies broadcasting team would say, wow.
Score now. Arvada West 21, Wheat Ridge 0.
Helgeson's going to kick it off for the Wildcats. Obviously, he'll try to get another one in the end zone, backing up Wheat Ridge. So everything that could go wrong really has gone wrong for the Farmers in this one. Offensively, they haven't been able to keep their defense off the field. And defensively, they've played pretty well, but they just haven't been able to eliminate the big play from Arvada West arsenal. And hey, that's Arvada West bread and butter, with guys like Duran and Pyatt, two guys who are fast. You know, that's what they live and die by. And so far today, they've been living large with 3 touchdown plays, all covering over 45 yards. A 47-yard pass by David Wyatt to Brad Pyatt. 54-yard punt return by Mike Duran, and then an 85-yard touchdown run by Mike Duran. Duran coming into the game with over 150 yards rushing on the season. He's now over the 200-yard clip, and Helgeson kicks that one almost through the goalpost. So Wheat Ridge is going to start at 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 41 yards remaining in the second quarter. Wheat Ridge on the day, 40 total yards in this football game, and we are 40 seconds away from the intermission. 40 total yards offensively. That's not going to get it done. But again, credit the Arvada West defense. Those linebackers and especially those defensive linemen just haven't given Wheat Ridge any room to run. Robert Wunderlich, Rob Morellas, Joe Knight, Chris Chavez. Those guys have dominated this game from their defensive standpoint. 1st and 10, ball at the 20, full house backfield for the Farmers. Hand off to Porter up the middle, and he fumbles it. The ball is picked up by someone in purple. I couldn't quite get the number, but just like that, Arvada West creates a turnover, and they've got a chance to score again. Looks like the fumble might have been picked up by Dirk Cisneros. That's the third time we've called his name. He's been very opportunistic on defense for Arvada West, so now the Wildcats with a chance to put more points up on the board. That's the first Wheat Ridge turnover, and that's surprising because you'd think leading 21-0 the way this game has gone, A-West would have taken advantage of some turnovers, but that's only the first one by the Farmers today. So the Arvada West has it 1st and 10 inside the Wheat Ridge 25. The ball laying at the 24-yard line. Pyatt in the backfield. We've got 3 wide receivers to the left. Craighead, Pyatt in motion out of the backfield to the right. Wyatt, the quarterback. Here comes Chad Jones in motion from left to right. Jones, 5-step drop, looks to pass, nowhere, rolls to his right, pressured and finally brought down. The tackle made by Tom Plummer. That's Wheat Ridge's 3rd sack here this afternoon, and Arvada West is going to call a timeout to stop the clock. We've got 19 seconds left here in the second half. Dave Logan probably telling his young quarterback, David Wyatt, in a situation like that, you just throw it out of bounds and don't take the yards, because that was a loss of 5 on the play. So now, instead of looking at a 41-yard field goal, you're looking at a 46-yard field goal. Ryan Burhorn checking out of the game for the Wildcats. Actually, Dave Logan saying, no, Ryan, you're in on this play. Calls him back into the huddle. I think it's interesting that when you call a timeout in high school, that the head coach comes out to the huddle to talk to his team. The Wheat Ridge coach is doing that as well. I guess at higher level of footballs in college and in the pros, you anticipate and expect your players to know their assignments. This way the coaches can be sure these young kids who are balancing school and work and just the standard pressures of being a teenager, make sure they can get them in the right positions and in the right sets for the defensive plays. So 2nd down and 15, ball at the 29-yard line. Wyatt, 5-step drop, looks to his left, throws it to Chad Jones. That one could be intercepted. Looked like Adam Ariano had a nice chance at it. Good play by Ariano. He's able to knock it away, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 15 for Arvada West.
Number 36, Jones.
Wyatt 0 for 2 on this drive.
We reached by number 7, Ariano.
Of course, he had the big play there at the beginning of the second quarter, hooking up with Brad Pyatt. But as often it is with these Arvada West quarterbacks, it doesn't take a great throw for them to put up some pretty gaudy big numbers. That pass he threw to Pyatt was about a 10-yard completion. Pyatt just took a big lick, was able to keep his balance and turned it into a 47-yard play. So it was actually a 10-yard pass, but a 37-yard run by Brad Pyatt. 3rd down, 15, Pyatt on the right. Chad Jones alone, set back. Wyatt looking for Pyatt, going deep to the end zone. Pyatt has his man, but the pass is just a little underthrown and incompletion, so that's going to bring up 4th down and 15. We've got 7 seconds left, and here's a chance maybe to see what kind of leg Arvada West place kicker has. However, looks like the offense is staying on the field. With 7 seconds left, might as well take a chance at the end zone. Apparently, Dave Logan doesn't like the chances of his place kicker kicking a 46-yard field goal, so expect to see them look for Pyatt or Duran again in the end zone. Pyatt, Craighead, Jones all split left. Pyatt in the backfield. Expect him to come in motion, probably to the right. Wyatt under center. There goes Pyatt. Guarded on the outside by David Kress. He's had the assignment this afternoon on Mr. Pyatt. Wyatt looks to dump it off to Duran, a wide receiver screen, and a great play there by Mike Favaro. He dumps Duran for a loss of 3, and that brings a close to the first half of football, and what a first half it was for Arvada West. They score 3 touchdowns in the first 16 minutes of play. They lead it 21-0 over the Wheat Ridge Farmers. We'll be back with the second half. listening to this tape, you definitely are. What an afternoon it is for the Wildcats. Up 21-0 here at the start of the second half. It's been the big play. Brad Pyatt, Mike Duran going crazy. They lead at 21-0. Wheat Ridge has had very little to cheer about here in the first half of football. There's a kickoff. Brad Pyatt picks it up at about the 16-17 yard line. Nice return out to about the 35-yard line, a return of 19 yards for Mr. Pyatt. Let's talk about a few statistics from the first half. Arvada West unofficially racks up about 200 total yards, 160 yards rushing on 9 carries. It's 18 yards a pop. Mike Duran, 3 carries for 94 yards. Of course, he had the big 85-yard touchdown run there in the second quarter. The two-headed monster of Derek Cavalieri and David Wyatt, they go 4 of 10 with an interception, but they do throw for 69 yards and a touchdown. Wyatt, 2 of 5, 46 yards, and a score. First and 10 for the Wildcats. They have the ball at their own 35-yard line. Cavalieri under center. Mike Sims, the lone tailback. Craighead to the left. Pyatt to the right. Looks like there's movement. I don't know if that's offense. It looks like the ball may have been snapped. That might have been illegal. That may be a legal procedure on Arvada West center. Joe Shepard, the center for the Wildcats, 5'8", 185 pounds. He is a junior. And it is a legal procedure against the purple and silver. That'll back it up 5 yards. So first down and 15 for Arvada West. And they've had some success scoring, putting up 21 points, despite really shooting themselves in the foot on a number of occasions. They've got 4 penalties for 33 yards. They've had a couple of illegal procedures, a holding penalty. So they haven't been their own best friend on offense. Still, they've been able to move the ball a little bit and come up with some big plays. That is Sims taking the ball out to about the 33-yard line, Gain of 3 for Sims, so it's going to be second down and 12 for Arvada West. For Wheat Ridge, their statistics look pretty bleak. 17 yards rushing. Chris Marvel is 2 of 9, throwing the ball for 13 yards. That's a total of 30 yards in offense. That is much below their season average of over 200 yards. Coming into the game, Wheat Ridge averaged 28 points per game. They have 0 here through the first half of play. Second down, 13. Sims still the lone tailback. Pyatt split right. Craighead split left. There's a fumble. Cavalieri is able to give it to Sims, and he's got a little bit of running room out across the 40. Finally tackled at about the 43-yard line. He's going to be a couple yards short. It's going to be third down and 2, but a nice improvisation, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Stop made by number 32.
Nice improvisation. Thank you, Pat. I need help anywhere I can get it by the Arvada West offense. As Cavalieri dropped the handoff, was able to pick it back up, had the presence of mind to give it to his running back Sims, and Sims just ran as fast as he could to the outside, beat the defense to the corner, and picked up about 5 yards. Third down and 2 for Arvada West. Pareko, the fullback, in the game. They might run it right up the gut behind the big fella. In motion, Josh Ranson. Cavalieri hands it off to Sims. He dances his way across the first down marker and out close to midfield. A pickup of 6 on the play for Sims, and a nice piece of running. He took the handoff, sort of took a few short steps, found the hole, and then broke through out near the 50-yard line. So Arvada West, their first offensive series in the second half, results in a first down. They've got the ball at midfield. I'm sure Dave Logan at halftime talked to his offense about being more consistent. They put up 21 points in the first half, but they did it by using the big play. They had 3 plays over 47 yards or longer, and that was really all the offense they had. I'm sure Dave Logan would like to see them have a few more longer, sustained drives, and that's what it looks like they're trying to achieve here in the second half. That's Chad Jones for a run of 3 yards on the play. Let's call it second down and 7. Nick Heaney checking into the game for the Farmer, number 66, while Dominique Suazo checks out, number 56. Jones, 3 carries today for 13 yards, and we do have an injured Farmer down on the field. Let's see if we can get his number for you. The injured player down appears to be Anthony Rojas, 5'9", 240-pound offensive guard, defensive tackle. He seems to be okay, walking off the field maybe with an awkward gait, but nonetheless, I would expect him to be back. Doesn't look like that injury is too severe. So it's 2nd down and 7 for Arvada West. Ball in Wheat Ridge territory at about the 48-yard line. Cavallari under center. Chad Jones, a tailback. Pyatt split right. Got 2 receivers to the left. I believe it's Duran and Paldino. Cavallari looks to his left, throws it to Pyatt, and there is definitely some miscommunication there. Either Pyatt ran the wrong route or Cavallari threw the wrong pass. The two have a few words as Pyatt jogs back to the huddle. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Wildcats. And again, really, I mean, Dave Logan's got to be a little bit concerned about the crispness of this offense. They've come up with the big play, but they haven't had really any long, sustained drives. And somewhere during the course of this season, the big play is not going to be there, and they're going to need to grind out 80 yards in 10 plays or vice versa. Pyatt with the catch, tries to fight his way for the 1st down. I think he's got it as he bowls over David Kress. Nice little play there. They were playing way off Pyatt, and they're going to call it a 1st down, so a pickup about 6 or 7 yards there for Brad Pyatt. It's going to be a nice 1st down for the Wildcats. So Logan looking for that consistency on offense, and right now the Wildcats have moved the chains in back-to-back series, so it's going to be their 7th play of this series. This drive started at about the Arvada West 36-yard line. 1st and 10, ball inside the Wheat Ridge 40 at the 39. Got Pyatt split right, Paldino and Duran split left. Cavallari looks to Duran, has his man, defender slips down. Duran's got a big gainer, tripped up at about the 20-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 19 yards for Mike Duran. And just like that, this Arvada West offense appears to be clicking at a little better efficiency here in the 2nd half. Duran is having a big game. He's got that 54-yard punt return for the touchdown. He had a run for 85 yards at halftime, as we mentioned, 3 carries for 94 yards. That's his 2nd reception, I believe, for 19 yards here on the afternoon. So if my quick math is right, 94 and 54 is 148 plus 18 receiving. That's 166 yards on the day in total offense for Mike Duran. A pretty good afternoon. That's Jeremy Craighead breaking a tackle, and he scores. Again, Arvada West's ability to break tackles and Wheat Ridge's inability to make the tackles pays big dividends for the purple and silver. Jeremy Craighead getting into the act. A 19-yard touchdown reception from Derek Cavallari, and that is the drive I'm sure Dave Logan asked his team for at halftime, and they come right out of the gates putting up another 6, 27-0, 8:53 left here in the 3rd quarter. Cavallari on that drive, 3 of 4, 47 yards. Nice work there by the senior quarterback for Arvada West. Pallen's kick is up and good. It didn't look pretty, but it was effective. So with 8:53 remaining, the score is 28-0. Arvada West on their way, well on their way to their 3rd victory of the year, and the defense looking to pitch a shutout in this one. 65 yards in the drive. It elapsed 6 minutes and 5 seconds, so definitely a nice offensive series there for Arvada West. The 1st half really weren't able to sustain anything offensively. They come out in the 1st drive of the 2nd half, and the offense clicks on all cylinders, very efficient. They ran the ball well, they threw the ball fairly effectively, and when it's all said and done, it's a 6-minute drive, 65 yards, and a nice piece of work by the purple and silver offense. So Helgeson's going to kick it off. We got Ariano and Kress back to receive the punt. Kress is kind of the big player for the Wheat Ridge Farmers last week. He had 5 catches for over 100 yards. However, he hasn't really done anything here this afternoon. I know he ran the ball once, but other than that, he's been pretty silent. So A West defense doing a good job of taking away the big players for the Farmers. Kress is able to field the punt at the goal line. He does take a step in the end zone, so it's a touchback. Helgeson's done a good job on his kickoffs. A West is going to start another drive deep in their own territory at their 20-yard line as the Purple People Eaters come back out onto the field for Dave Logan and the A West faithful. First down and 10, ball at the 20-yard line. Let's see what the Wheat Ridge Farmers were able to accomplish at halftime. I mean, it looked like they were just physically outmanned in that first half, and I don't know what adjustments, if any, are going to make much of a difference, but let's see what Lee Kuntz did during the intermission. We've got split backs. Here comes Favaro in motion to the right. Marble rolls to his right, pump fakes, throws, has a man. That's Steve Porter. He's tackled at the 25-yard line. A pickup of 5 on the tackle for Arvada West is Dirk Cisneros, and he's had a pretty good game defensively for Arvada West. I know he recovered a fumble. He's been in on 2 or 3 tackles. A nice game for Cisneros. He's 5'9", 165-pound senior. Second down and 5 for Wheat Ridge. Full house backfield. Favaro, Porter, and Lucas. Handoff to, actually, Marvel keeps it, and he is dumped for no gain. The option goes nowhere on the tackle. Looked like Jaden McNeely was in there as well as Jeff Flora and maybe Rob Morellis. So we got 3rd and 5 now for the Farmers. Get a nice look at the Arvada West defense there. Wheat Ridge's quarterback Chris Marvel, 3 of 9, 18 yards so far in the game. Blitz by the Wildcats. This man should be open. It's Mike Favaro. He makes a nice catch at his knees and is driven out of bounds, but not until he picks up a first down out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So Wheat Ridge able to pick up the blitz, dump it to the hot man. That was Favaro coming out of the backfield. They pick up about 10 on the play. Actually, let's say 8 on the play. It's a first down for the Farmers, their 3rd of the game. Again, it's been 4 quarters and counting since this Wheat Ridge offense last scored some points. They were scoreless in the second half against our Centaurus last weekend and scoreless in the first half this week. Nice move by Ariano to avoid the tackle, the initial tackle. That was Chris Chavez putting pressure on in the backfield. Ariano dumped down by a host of Wildcats. After that, Jaden McNeely and Jeff Flora on the tackle. It was a loss of 2, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 12. And we have a timeout on the field. It looks like David Kress has some things to attend to his helmet, and there is an injured Arvada West player on the ground. That's number 90, Rob Varela, is their defensive tackle, 5'11", 235-pound junior. Let me pull out the binoculars and see if we can guesstimate as to what might be wrong. It appears as if the trainer is working on his lower right leg. Varela is up, and it looks like Palmer is going to give the training staff a little help as they bring him off the field. And it's not the right way. Yeah, it looks like he's favoring his left leg, so it's definitely an injury to the left leg. It doesn't appear to be too serious. I mean, he's able to walk off and put some weight on the leg, so that is a good sign. Rob Morelez, 5'11", 235-pound junior. He's been one of those men on that defense that's really dominated this football game. Pressure by Chavez. Marvel gets it away. It's incomplete to J.B. DeZariga, the first time we've mentioned his name this afternoon. And again, you know, the names may change, but the pressure continues to mount. That time, Chris Chavez putting on a lot of heat on Chris Marvel. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and long situation for the Farmers, to be exact, 3rd and 12. Be interesting to see if Arvada West blitzes here. It appears as if they're getting ample pressure with just their front 4. Looks like they're attending to Rob Morelez' ankle. Might have twisted it or got it bent over Again, we hate to speculate, but it looks like they are attending to his ankle on the sidelines. 3rd and 12 for the Farmers. Ball just outside their 30-yard line. Marvel hands it off. They pitch it back to him. He throws deep, and this play is well covered and almost intercepted by either Dirk Cisneros or Josh Ransom. Both players were not fooled on that play. So again, the Arvada West defense continues to dominate this game. Brad Pyatt and Mike Duran back to return the punt.
Play covered by number 20, Cisneros, number 90, Morales. Foot count and 11.
Tony Gamberg back to punt for the Farmers. He's been averaging a little less than 30 yards a punt here today. A little bit of pressure on him by Chavez. Chavez runs into him. It's going to be a penalty on Chavez, roughing the kicker. Duran with the punt return, and he's brought down immediately by Mike Favaro. Nice defense there by the Farmers, but it appears as if Wheat Ridge may get another chance at this. It looked like it was running into the kicker, which is a 5-yard penalty, and it appears it is an automatic first. I'm not sure if it's an automatic first down in high school or not. Looks like the A-West defense is coming back out on the field, so that must be the case. So running into the kicker by Chris Chavez is going to give the Wheat Ridge offense another crack at it and a little bit of life. $15-yard penalty, so that is enough for the first down as it was 4th and 12. That brings the ball out near midfield. The ball now at the 47-yard line of Wheat Ridge, and this is the Farmers' furthest penetration with the exception of the fumble they recovered at about the Arvada West 30-yard line. So the Wheat Ridge offense, if they're looking for some kind of consolation, this is the deepest penetration they've had. Second 15-yard penalty for the Wildcats today. I believe it is their 5th on the afternoon. 5 penalties, 47 yards. Our statistician, Pat Chavez, confirms my ability to add and subtract. Chris Marvel dodging some would-be tacklers, has a little bit of run to room and takes it for a first down to the Arvada West 40. Again, great pressure by the Wildcat defense. That time they were unable to bring him down, and Marvel makes a little something happen for the Farmers. They've got another first down at the Arvada West 40-yard line. This is the first time the Farmer offense has been able to penetrate the Wildcat side of the field. If things get a little hairy in here, there is a wasp that has penetrated our broadcast booth. First down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line. That wasp is no longer alive. Steve Porter with the handoff, running hard down to the 35-yard line of Arvada West. So Wheat Ridge coming out here on their first offensive series of the second half, and they're able to make a few things happen. We've got 5:32 remaining here. Of course, Arvada West leads it 28-0.
Second down and 5.
Full house backfield for the Farmers. 2 tight ends, Burke and DeZeriga, the tight ends for Wheat Ridge. Hand off to Ariano. He's wrapped up by Chris Chavez and finished off by Jeff Flora. A loss of 2 or 3 on the play, so that's going to bring up 3rd down and 8 for Wheat Ridge, and that play was going nowhere from the onset. Chavez penetrated the offensive line, had a hand on Ariano as he caught the ball. Jeff Flora came from his middle linebacker position and was able to finish off the play. Great defense by Flora and Chavez, and it brings up 3rd and long. And actually, I said Flora from his middle linebacker position. Of course, he is an outside linebacker. That's Porter with a gain of 3 or 4 on the play. He is eventually brought down by Ryan Palmer, Dirk Cisneros, and a few others. It's going to be short of the first down, but again, if you're Wheat Ridge, you got to go for it. You got the ball inside Arvada West 34-yard line. You haven't had many opportunities offensively to put points on the board. Got to take a crack at it, and that's exactly what they're going to do. 4th down, 4 yards to go for the first down for the Farmers. The ball is at the 34-yard line. Full house backfield. This set, they experienced some success with it late in the second half, and it looks like they experienced some success on it there. Steve Porter with a big run. That's a gain of 5, and it is a first down. And for the first time, maybe all game, we're starting to see a little emotion from the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Arvada West thoroughly has dominated the game, especially from a defensive standpoint, but right now, Wheat Ridge gaining a little confidence with the ability to move the football. Porter, 5 rushes, 20 yards on the afternoon. 3:50 remaining. Clock is running here in the third quarter. Again, the full house backfield, 2 tight ends. Marvel hands it off to Porter, and again, he's got a little bit of running room. Give him 4. It's going to be 2nd down and 6, and it apparently Lee Kuntz's staff has seen a soft spot right in the middle because they're running Porter with some kind of effectiveness here in the second half. He's following guys like Josh Daly, Jim Shefflin, and Anthony Rojas. That's a guard and center combination for the Farmers. Those guys right now are creating a little bit of running room for Porter, Favero, and company. 2nd and 6. Full house backfield once again. Hand off to Favero. This time it looks like the turf monster was there on the tackle as Favero just seemed to trip. No one really seemed to bring him down. A pickup of 3, so we've got 3rd and short. Let's say 3rd and 2.5 for Wheat Ridge. Again, this I believe has got to be 4-down territory. One thing the Wheat Ridge offense is doing here, and it's a little misleading, is they're keeping the ball out of the Arvada West offense's hands, and it's giving their defense a chance to rest. That's misleading because more than a number of these Wheat Ridge Farmers play both ways. But that's Porter going up and over the line of scrimmage, diving ahead for 3 or 4 yards, and another first down for the Farmers, and this has been a nice little drive by Wheat Ridge. Rob Hennig throwing his arm up in the air, and like we said, the team's starting to show a little bit of emotion, and they seem to be a team gaining a little bit of confidence. Of course, they are down by 28 points. At some point, if they have ideas of winning this game, they've got to put the ball up in the air because they can't have 8 or 9 minute drives on the ground and get back into this football game. Marvel with the pass to Favero, a nice catch. He's got it for 11 or 12 yards inside the 10-yard line, bound to about the 6. On the tackle was Justin Ruiz, a 5'8", 165-pound senior for the Wildcats. So it's 1st and goal for Wheat Ridge, ball inside the 10 at about the 6.5-yard line.
6-yard line.
This has been a nice little drive by Wheat Ridge. They've mixed in a few passing plays. Steve Porter has carried the bulk of the load. However, Marvel had a nice run on a scramble, and Favero had a nice run. But there is a fumble, and that nice drive I was talking about comes to an end. Marvel can't handle the snap from the center. Chris Chavez was there to jump on the loose ball, along with a few other A-West Wildcat defenders, and a very costly turnover as it's inside the A-West 10. They turn it over in the red zone. It's the 2nd turnover today for Wheat Ridge, and it appears there is a player down on the field for Arvada West. It is Jaden McNeely, their outside linebacker. McNeely, 6'1", 215-pound junior. He is laying face down on the turf. Getting up slowly. He's on his knees and hands now. That's a good sign. Dave Logan out on the field talking to Jaden. Jaden up on both feet and walking off. It looks like he just might have got his bell rung or got the wind knocked out of him, but he apparently seems to be running off the field. So Jaden is obviously all right, and we may see him later in the game. But a costly turnover from Wheat Ridge right when it looked like they were gaining some confidence and getting something moving on the offensive end. A bad connection between the quarterback and center results in a turnover, and now A-West has it 1st and 10, ball on their own 8-yard line. Cavallari hands it off up the middle, a pickup of about 3 or 4. And Chad Jones was on the carry. It's going to be 2nd down and 6. Haven't given many accolades to the Arvada West offensive line today, but we should point out on that play, Jamie Seek with a pancake blocking well after the play, drove his man to the turf, and those are the kind of things when Dave Logan and his staff looks at the film after this game, they will applaud, I'm sure, that kind of second and third effort. 2nd down and 6 for the Wildcats. Ball in their 12. Cavallari hands it off to Sims. Sims with a little bit of running room out across the 20. Tackled at the 21. Sims has looked pretty good when he's carried the ball today. And that's a pickup of 9 yards on the play. So 1st down for the Wildcats. So they moved the chains. The clock is running, or actually the clock is running. 59 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
Stop made by number 8, Peterson. Good 1st and 10, Arvada West.
Zach Huey checks out along with Sims. Sims seems to be walking a little gingerly on his left leg. Checking back into the game is Chad Jones. We've got Craighead and Duran split right. Pyatt split left. Cavallari under center. Hands it off to Jones. He runs in to Nick Haney and J.P. Zariga and goes for no yardage on the play. Good defense there by the Farmers. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. 30 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. It's been all A West. They lead it 28-0. Paul checking in for the Wildcats. Craighead checking out. Looks like that last play is going to be brought back. It was a gain of no yards, but we have holding on our Arvada West, so that's going to bring it back to the 11-yard line. So it's going to be 1st down all over again. 1st and 11 for the Wildcats. Paulino and Duran split right. That's where Cavallari's looking. It's a screen to Jones. He's got it across the 15, gets a block out across the 20, 25, and brought down near the 30-yard line. Tackled by Tyler Peterson, but not until he picks up close to 20 yards on the play. Give him 19, and it's going to be 2nd down and short for the Wildcats. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score 28-0. Arvada West in the lead here and really taking charge of this ball game. It looks like the offense is starting to work a little better together. The defense coming up with a turnover there near the end of the 3rd quarter, and everything seems to be going the purple and silver's way. Stats here for you in that 3rd quarter. It was a pretty good quarter for Derek Cavallari, the starting quarterback for Arvada West. 67 yards passing. Arvada West players holding up those 4 fingers on the sideline, signaling that when the 4th quarter comes, they do indeed believe they are the team to beat. Not much emotion from the Wheat Ridge sidelines, however. I think that fumble inside the 10 really took whatever wind they had out of their sails. 105 total yards for Arvada West there in that 3rd quarter. We talked about that offense maybe clicking a little better, and that was definitely the case. Mike Duran with some running room, breaking 3 or 4 tackles. He's off to the races, puts a move on David Kress. Kress finally brings him down, but not until Duran has yet another big gainer on the day. Mike Duran, wow, he's been great this afternoon. 44 yards on that play. You know, you talk a lot about guys like Duran and Pyatt. We saw it from Craighead on Arvada West's last touchdown. A lot of people like to talk about the speed that this team has, but these guys are tough and they're hard to bring down. We saw Pyatt break a tackle on his touchdown run. That time, Duran ran through probably 3 or 4 arm tackles. Not only are these guys fast, but they're tough, strong, and very difficult to tackle, and that is a lethal combination as the Farmers are figuring out. Duran 4 carries today, 138 yards. Doing wonders for his yards per carry average. Cavallari with the pass, caught by Paulino. A nice grab there. He's tackled, but not until he's brought down near the 1st down marker. I think that is a 10-yard pickup and another 1st down for the Wildcats. Micah Paulino grabbing his first catch this afternoon. And we talked about what Dave Logan probably talked to his team about at halftime. Defensively, probably didn't have much to say because the team looked fantastic. Offensively, he probably wasn't very happy because they came up with some big plays, but they had no consistency, no continuity. Well, this second half, Arvada West has been an offensive machine, just moving the ball down the field at will. 10:50 left here in the fourth quarter, 28-0 Arvada West. We've got Crayco and Sims in the backfield. Hyatt and Craighead split left. Cavallari with a little bit of happy feet throws to the left side. Ball bounces off the helmet of David Kreft. That should have been an intercepted pass. However, it will go in the books as an incompletion. Cavallari this half, 5 of 7 for 87 yards. However, he made a bad read there. That's been about his only mistake here in the second half.
Number 5, press. Second down and 10.
Second down and 10, ball at the Wheat Ridge 15-yard line. Paulino checking in, Craighead checking out. Clock is stopped, 10:38 left here in the fourth quarter. Cavallari under center. This is Pyatt in motion from right to left. 7-step drop, eludes some pressure. Finds Pyatt in the left flat. He makes a couple moves, runs across the field, turns on the Jets, and scores. Brad Pyatt with yet another touchdown, his second on the afternoon, his fifth of this season. However, it may all be coming back. There is a flag on the play. Early reports indicate it may be illegal motion. Eric Helgeson raising his hands up like what? He may have been the guilty culprit. And it looks like this one is coming back. So Cavallari's second touchdown pass this afternoon and Brad Pyatt's second touchdown will be erased from the books as there is a penalty. It's going to bring it back to the Wheat Ridge 20 where it will be second down and 15 for Arvada West. You got a good chance to see the speed of Pyatt on that play, though. He caught it in the slot, just turned on the Jets ran laterally and outran the entire Wheat Ridge defense to the corner of the end zone. By the time this season's over, I'm going to see if I can come up with Brad Pyatt's 40 time because I would be very interested in hearing what that is. He's got a number of Division I schools already looking at him, and you can see why. Second down, 15, ball at the Wheat Ridge 20. That's Pyatt in motion from right to left. Looks like Wheat Ridge trying to jam the line of scrimmage. That's Cavallari. The blitz is picked up. However, not for long as he is sandwiched by two Wheat Ridge Farmer defenders, Dominique Suazo and Tom Plummer on the sack. Plummer, 6'3", 190-pound junior. He is a defensive end. Suazo, 6'4", 250. He is a defensive end as well. You don't want that guy landing on you. A loss of 1 on the play, so it's third down and 16 for the Wildcats. Surprisingly as it sounds, they've been pretty effective in picking up these third and longs. I know they had about a 3rd and 20 at one point in the first half where they threw a 24-yard completion to Jeremy Craighead. And I think Mike Duran's long touchdown run may have come on third down as well, so their third down conversion rate today has been pretty good. Wheat Ridge, one of the few bright spots for them, 4 sacks on the afternoon. That's Cavallari with the drop. Wide open pass to Duran. Duran looking to make something happen. Tackled at about the 5-yard line. He stretched that ball for the first down, and I think he got it. He did. What a great effort by Mike Duran. Tackled at about the 6. Knew he needed to make it to the 5. Pulled the old Fred Barnett, sticking the ball out, reaching for the first down, and he got it. Pick up a 16 yards. It's good for a first down, and as I said, third and long. Hey, it's been easy pickings for the Wildcats. They've been very successful when you think the odds are against them.
Be a measurement for the first down.
Looks like they're going to bring the chains out for a measurement. I might have jumped the gun a little quickly. Duran, 3 catches today, 34 yards. Again, he's piled up well over 200 yards here this afternoon in total offense. Chains are pulled, and it is very, very close. First down, Wildcats. What a great single effort by Mike Duran. 28-0. Clock reads 9:20 on the scoreboard. Arvada West cruising to their 3rd win of the season, barring something catastrophic. the Wildcats will improve to 3-0 and maintain their top ranking in the state. Of course, they are the 5A defending champs. We have a timeout on the field. Wheat Ridge defense taking a knee. We talked about the heat here this afternoon and which team may get tired first. Well, the way Arvada West has been moving the ball in the second half, that Wheat Ridge defense looks a little gassed here at the 9-minute mark of the fourth period. Again, Arvada West leads at 28-0. Here in the second half. Craighead in motion from left to right. Hyatt in the slot. Keep an eye on him. Hand off to Jones. Jones has a little running room. Fights his way towards the goal line, but a nice tackle at about the 1-yard line by the Farmers, denying Jones of a touchdown. However, he is very close. It's going to be second and goal. Derek Cavallari tells Coach Logan that it's within a yard, maybe about 12 inches. Looks like it might be a little longer than that. Might be a full yard. With that in mind, they send Jim Craco, the fullback, out to the field. 5'9", 205 pounds. He is very compact in that typical fullback mode. Second and goal from inside the 1. 8:40 and running here in the fourth quarter. And we have another timeout. It's going to be a Wheat Ridge timeout. Looks like they're trying to take these timeouts and mount a goal line stand. Again, our score 28-0, Arvada West in the lead. 8.5 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. We mentioned the play of Derek Cavallari here in the second half. 6 of 8, 93 yards. That's some pretty good percentages. Quick math tells me that's about 70% completion percentage or somewhere in that area. 75%. So a good half of football here in the final 24 minutes for the senior quarterback for Arvada West. There's the pitch to Mike Duran, and he waltzes in easily as Ryan Burhorn gets a good block on Mike Navarro to help open up that side of the field. For Mike Duran, I believe that is his third touchdown of the afternoon as Arvada West has pushed it up in the 30s. They lead it 34-0, and that one was easy. Duran came into the game with 5 rushes, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he's returned a punt for a touchdown here this afternoon. He has an 85-yard touchdown run and then I'm assuming, 1-yard plunge there. The extra point is up and good. Kicking that extra point was a man who is not on my roster, number 29, with the extra point. We apologize for not knowing that young man's name. He's filling in for Grant Allen. So Arvada West leads at 35-0. Duran, so far, we told you he came into the game with 158 yards rushing through the first 2 games of the season. Today, 5 carries, 139 yards. That's good for an average of 28 yards per carry. As we mentioned, he does have 3 TDs. We might be talking about our player of the game. Eric Helgeson going to set it up on the tee and kick things off here. 8:29 remaining in the third quarter. 35-0. It's been all Wildcats. David Kress and Aaron Lucas back to return the kick for the Farmers. Helgeson looks like he's got another good foot into this one. He does. That one flies out of the end zone, so another touchback. Wheat Ridge has a long side of the field to go. 1st and 80 for a touchdown here in the fourth quarter. Helgeson isn't letting the heat get the best of him. He kicked that one a good. They teed it up about the 35-yard line, good 75 yards off the tee. I tell you, I saw him up at Fort Collins, and he kicked the first couple kickoffs through the end zone. That was a game in which I believe the first 6 times Arvada West physically touched the football, they scored 3 touchdowns. That was blowout city, as Dick Vitale would say. There's the handoff up the gut to Steve Porter. Porter had a good series on the last drive for the Farmers that time. Very little room to run, a gain of a yard from Porter on the tackle. Brad Runtarad. I hope I got that name correct. He is a 5'10", 180-pound defensive lineman for the Wildcats. Second down and about 8 within 2 yards. Porter 8 carries 29 yards. Fullback for Wheat Ridge. Hand off to Porter again. He's got no running room. Jeff Flora in there on the stop for the Wildcats along with Robert Wunderlich. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5 for Wheat Ridge, so give Porter a gain of 3. And if Wheat Ridge hopes to get out of this game only losing by 35 points, it may be imperative here that they make another first down or 2 and get that clock running. They've got to take whatever moral victories they can at this point, trailing 35-0 midway through the fourth quarter. Marvel with a little bit of misdirection can't escape the grasp of Robert Wunderlich. That is his 2nd sack, I believe, this afternoon. He's been a fixture in the Wheat Ridge backfield. He raises up his hands to the A-West faithful here on the west side of the stands at Jeffco Stadium, and that's going to force a punt. And Arvada West is going to get the football back. Duran and Pyatt back there to receive the punt, along with Josh Ransom. And there's going to be a timeout on the field as both Pyatt and Duran come to the sidelines. It looks as if Dave Logan wants to get Ransom full time by returning the punt along with Chad Jones, as Pyatt and Duran's day looks to be finished at least on punt returns. Derek Cavallari and Mike Duran shaking hands and laughing on the sidelines along with Brad Pyatt. Why not? Hey, they struggled a little bit offensively in the first half, but they went into halftime, fixed some things, talked about what went wrong, came out here in the second half and really played a lot better. The offensive line, Joe Shepard, Eric Fowler, Josh Jones, Jamie C., Eric Helgeson, those guys really did a much better job here in the second half. They gave Cavallari a lot more time to pass, and they opened up a lot bigger holes for guys like Jones, Sims, and Duran here in the second half. Gamberg back to punt. This is going to be the 7th punt of the afternoon for the Farmers. That is not the kind of stat you want on your side. Gamberg with a poor punt to his standard. Hits about the 47, bounces across midfield, and will be deadened at the 42, a 39-yard punt as he got that Wheat Ridge Farmer roll. And Arvada West is going to take over, ball at their own 42-yard line. We've got 6:41 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Arvada West leads at 35-0. David Wyatt is going to take over the quarterbacking duties for the Wildcats. We expect that means Cavallari's day is over. We see Duran on the sidelines with his helmet off. Where are those baseball caps you always see those guys wearing when the game's in tow? Wyatt under center. Sims and Krako split behind him. That's Sims with a nice hard run. However, he is hit hard by number 40, Andy Burke, but not until he gains about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7 for the Wildcats. Jeremy Craighead sitting out. Micah Paldino bringing in the play from the sidelines. So a lot of the younger kids getting some much-needed action here for Dave Logan's Wildcats. Sims, 7 carries, 33 yards here on the afternoon. That's good for 4 yards a pop for Matt. 2nd and 7. two wide receivers split to the left. There's a handoff to Sims, a little bit of a delay. He's wrapped up there by Tom Plummer. Plummer's had a pretty good defensive game for the Farmers. 2-yard gain for Sims, so it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Cats. Clock is running, 5:40 left here. This is the 4th quarter.
Ball at the Arvada West 48-yard line. 3rd down and 4.
Clayton Seiler in on the offensive line for the Wildcats, along with a number of other younger players. There's the pitch to Sims. He can't get around the corner. Good pursuit there by the Farmer defense. That's going to force a punt. A few of the other younger players in there. Nick Aiden, a 5'9", 180-pound sophomore. There's just a couple of the men who were manning the offensive line in that series for the Wildcats. Abe Lee, another sophomore, 6'2", 220-pound offensive lineman. So Dave Logan's team developing a little depth, and you need to do that. You don't have to look much further than the Nebraska Cornhuskers to see how they do that year in and year out. They win big and play a lot of younger guys, and you wonder why they always reload instead of bringing in new guys, because a lot of these younger guys get a lot of much-needed playing time. Pretty good punt there by the Wildcats, and return that is stopped in a hurry by Zach Huey, 5'11", 5'9", 195-pound junior. That was a 39-yard punt, a very minimal return. 4:29 left in the ballgame, 35-0 the Wildcats, and pretty good performance by Arvada West. Granted, the offense did struggle there in the first half, wasn't probably as efficient, as consistent as Dave Logan and the fans would like. They came out here in the second half and really took care of business, and it's been all purple and silver. Full house backfield. Marvel back to pass with a little bit of time. Finds a man off the fingertips of Eddie Corrigan. On the coverage was Josh Ransom. I mentioned Josh's name. He's a sophomore. So he's quite a bit of playing time for the Wade West Wildcats. 5'9", only 155. He splits time as a wide receiver and a defensive back for Wade West. Mike Duran still seeing a little time on defense. He checks off the field for A West. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Wheat Ridge. Ball at the 20. Chris Chavez, Robert Wunderlich, Dirk Cisneros, Tony Vase, those guys still in the ballgame for A West. Joe Knight, who was on the tackle there, along with, get the guy's number, Robert Wunderlich, a short gain for Mike Colasar, 6', 200-pound junior running back for Wheat Ridge. So it's going to bring up 3rd and long for the Farmers, 3rd and 10 to be exact. Marvel 5 of 13 this afternoon, only 38 yards passing, a far cry from his school record performance last week. And another run for nowhere, and they've fumbled the ball. The ball is loose, and it looks like A West has it, and the Wildcats do indeed have it. It looks like the fumble recovery was made by Robert Wunderlich. Also in the neighborhood was Jason Higbee, 5'9" junior, 170 pounds. So A West is going to set up shop in Wheat Ridge territory at their own 20. 3rd time the Farmers have put the ball on the carpet today, and Wheat Ridge came into this game probably a little on the shorter end of the talent meter, let's say. And so if they had any hopes of keeping this game close and competitive and maybe making some noise as far as the upset, they needed to play the perfect game, and 3 turnovers just not going to get it done. Wide receiver in motion from right to left. That's Wyatt. That's a counter to Sims. Sims stopped pretty much at the line of scrimmage. Tom Gallegos, senior, 5'10", 165-pound wide receiver in the game for the Arvada West Wildcats. Micah Paldino bringing in the play from the sidelines. Gallegos checking out. 2nd down and 9 from about the 19-yard line. Jason Nieberger, another sophomore, in on that offensive line for the Wildcats. So a lot of sophomores, as we mentioned, getting some much-needed time. Matt Sims takes it down to the 15-yard line, a pickup of 4 on the tackle. Bob Brooks, he's a sophomore,
for
Wheat Ridge. Not until Sims games 4. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 for A West.
Ball at the Wheat Ridge 17-yard line.
3rd and 5 for Arvada West. Wyatt in at quarterback. The fullback is John Degner. Tailback is Matt Sims. That's Sims, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, has a little bit of running room, but can't elude the grasp of Mark Samora. We saw Mark in on the offensive line for Wheat Ridge earlier in the first half. He had a tough time containing Mr. Chavez, but a nice tackle there by Samora. That's going to bring up 4th and short.
4th down and 1.
And it appears as if A West is going to go for it. Matt Morris, wide receiver, in on that last play. He checks out. Gallegos in for the Wildcats on the left side. Micah Paldino in on the right side. Offset I for A West. There's the pitch to Sims. Sims has a little bit of running room, and he is close to the end zone. Do we get a signal? It appears he's come up a yard short. Nice piece of running there by Matt Sims. He takes it 10 yards down to the 1-yard line. Arvada West has it 1st and goal at the 1.
Plays good first down.
That was an opportunity where Dave Logan could have kicked the field goal and given his place-kicking unit a little experience. However, with a lot of young guys on the offensive line, you know, you give them challenges where you can. It's 4th and 1. You tell a lot of these sophomores, hey, go out there and give me that 1 yard, and they did it. Nice job by the offensive line. Sure, the Wheat Ridge sidelines doesn't quite look at it that way. Wyatt with the pitch to Sims. This play is blown dead. Most likely it is illegal procedure on the offense. That will bring it back. Will be 1st and goal. Sims in relief duty here has put up some pretty decent numbers. Matt, 13 carries, 54 yards. Fans getting restless. Less than a minute left, 55 seconds, and the clock is running. We talked about small moral victories for Wheat Ridge. Well, they can come up with a stop or two. They might be able to keep Arvada West out of the end zone, and that indeed would be a moral victory for this defense. Wyatt with the counter to Sims. He's got some running room and breaks a tackle down close to the goal line. Stopped short, however. Nice piece of running by Sims. He picks up about 6 on the play, and with 27 seconds left, let's see if Arvada West will indeed run another play and try to score a touchdown. Tom Gallegos checking in again. Micah Paldino checking out. 2nd and goal from the 1. Again, just look at that Wheat Ridge defense. Hands on their knees. That's a tired bunch. They've been on the field a lot here in the second half. Looks like Arvada West has no intention of running a play. The clock reads 1, and that's the ball game. Classy move there by Dave Logan. Arvada West wins it 35-0 over 4A powerhouse Wheat Ridge. Pretty good second half, offensively and defensively for the Wildcats. Again, they win it. They are now 3-0 and still undefeated here in 1990 at night. Hey, I'm Eric Christensen bidding you adieu from Jeffco Stadium. Once again, Arvada West defeats Wheat Ridge. The final score, 35-0. Good night.